Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler. I'm here at Reno City Hall, and my guest is Council Member Dan Gustin, and we're going to talk about all the things that are going on in downtown Reno. It's just amazing. It's almost like there's a mini resurgence of business activity in downtown Reno.
There is. You and I have talked about this, and the topic's come up a couple times, and we always thought things were coming, and it's amazing what has happened. You're absolutely right. It's kind of under the radar a little bit because, you know, we had that time when it seemed the proliferation of bars were going everywhere, and nothing against bars. I'm not against bars, and some people thought I was because I was trying to be more restrictive on them, but now we're seeing bars, but they're in association with eating places. Eating places are taking precedence. And by the way, we have cocktails, we have beer, we have other things. But I'm really liking the direction it's going with people, entrepreneurs saying, you know, downtown Reno doesn't have this or it doesn't have that. So I'm going to take my skills and help downtown Reno. And I think they've done a great job to this point and more coming our way.
I was going to mention Campo. Have you been in there yet?
I have not. Mark Estes is a well-known chef, and I know he does great stuff. I have not. I heard some people in the gym this morning when I was working out talking about Campo, and they said that they liked it. I guess they got there when it was real busy because they said they had to wait a little bit longer than they wanted to, but they said it was well worth it after it was all said and done.
What I like about it is it's got a really unique sort of upbeat modern design, but they serve things like pizzas and burgers, but they also have gourmet food as well. And I think it's in line with what you were saying, not just a bar, but a cool restaurant to go with it.
You know, I think that's it. And you've noticed the different menu items and selections and directions. It's not the standard fare with salads on one side of the menu and sandwiches on the other side. I really like the ethnicity to a lot of it and the different things that are going on, like Bowl, for example, that's open in West Street Market. You know, there's really, so many of us go to lunch all the time and we talk about salads and sandwiches and so on, but there's really nothing better to stimulate your afternoon than a nice bowl of soup. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I can remember being a kid and my mother and my grandmother and my aunts, tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. I mean, that was a thrill, and it still is.
Well, it's such a standard. And now that you've brought up West Street Market started off kind of slowly, seemed to grow, lost a few businesses, and now we've got two. We've got the Bowl, and the owner of that is a well-known chef who says moo, which is kind of cool that another well-known chef will be coming to downtown Reno. And then we have the Z Pie, and that sounds like a really interesting deal. They're going to serve some sort of pot pies, and that's not quite open, but that's supposed to open, I think, by the end of the year in the West Street Market.
We're talking now, it's late November, but it will open a little bit later on. The lady does a lot of things that I understand. I don't know her personally, but does things with youth in transition and trying to make this go. And it's interesting about West Street Market, as you said, the transition. It was retail when it opened, and everybody thought maybe that's where it would go, even though we talked about some references to Pike's Market and things in that venue. But I think with the food coming to the forefront and more restaurants in there and boutique kind of restaurants, that may be the way that it's going to be most successful, because pot pie. Now, my wife is a huge fan of chicken pot pie. She could eat chicken pot pie a lot. I can have it once in a while, but pot pies also. Something great to have at lunch that's really filling, but not heavy on you. So those two with the Bowl and Z Pie, they're two really good additions to West Street Market.
And they're, like you said, they're something different. It's not sandwiches and salad. It's a unique take and something that people might actually go downtown to have because it is different.
You know, talk about things that are different. The Siena has been open for a few months now. And I've liked that from day one. Gone in there, my wife and I have gone in there and had dinner and had lunch, and I took somebody to lunch the other day, and I ordered some potato skins, and the special they had a ravioli with shrimp and crab stuffed, and I took an order home and we had it for dinner. There's another place that's serving good food, and it's not always the standard menu stuff at Siena. It seems their waiting staff, whenever I've gone there, the people that wait on you, they are very positive. They're very positive and friendly, and I asked the young lady who was waiting on me, I said, well, what are you recommending today? And she said, oh, you've got to try. And that's how I ended up trying their special. And I've never had a bad meal there. That's also a good place to go. And we're so close to it at City Hall. You can pop over there for lunch, and they have the sushi, they have soups. They have a lot of good things also.
You're making me hungry.
I know. You know, we're doing this midday, and I didn't eat enough today, I don't think.
And we already ate a lot on Thanksgiving, and I could still keep eating it between now and Christmas. But which brings up a good point. The Siena is open again, which is great for downtown Reno.
Yeah, it really is. And the first thing they ask you when they have space, if you go at the right time, do you want to sit next to the river? You know, that's the allure of downtown. How many places can you go? You can go to San Antonio, and I've been there, and their river is a flowing stream of water. I wouldn't call it exactly a river, but you can eat a lot there. But in Reno, people are starting to take advantage of that, and it's great.
And I think that's going to be the same with Campo, which is in the Palladio, and we also have, what is it, the Old Bridge pub that's there?
Yes, that Old Bridge pub is there, yeah. And those are downtown. We talked about West Street Market, but there's a lot of things going on. And again, I really applaud these people for their ingenuity and the resourcefulness in doing this, because the menus are different. So we don't always eat out every meal, but you have great options. Arroyo by the ballpark. Tony Arroyo, some of his dishes I think are fabulous. And I like Mexican food an awful lot, but he has some specials on Friday. He also has a soup with some shrimp that they make, and I can't think of the name of it right now or repeat it, but my wife and I have gone there and had it. Just excellent.
And there already are some great restaurants in downtown Reno. You've got the Silver Peak that's already been there, and there's the other place, I can't think of the name of it, Mapes is really decent. That's also in the Palladio, in the front there of the Palladio. That's an excellent restaurant. I think a lot of people that are watching don't realize that there are some really great places to eat downtown. Of course, we've always had the casinos, that like the El Dorado has always been known for its excellent food. But what I think is so neat is that there's these entrepreneurs that are coming in. They're small business owners, and they say that's what's going to turn the economy around, is all the small businesses combined.
It's a great opportunity, but you know, there's been so much during the Christmas season, this holiday season, about shopping local. And what a better way. I mean, obviously we want you to buy things local. Buy what you want and what your family needs, but think of the merchants first of all, and now think about the restaurants, because I like, as I said earlier when we first started this interview, I like the transition. It's not only bars downtown, because I heard people talking about, oh, all you guys are doing is putting bars in. Well, you can get wines and you can get beers and you get other things, but when the focus is on food first, that's the nice thing about it. And again, I'm really excited about it, because I think the diversity and the selection is much better than I can remember in years.
Another interesting place downtown is Commrow, which opened a few months ago. And as far as the food goes, I know that they have like 3 or 4 restaurants, and they're all really unusual. I think it's like some places are as simple as ice cream, but they also have some restaurants as well.
Yeah, they have Twisted. It's a do-it-yourself dessert area, but the names, but the names are really unique, and they're growing. The nice thing is that it's the transition. I really also applaud them for what they did, because they took a former hotel casino and converted it into a different lifestyle and a different approach to the food they're serving and the activities they have there. Now, their hotel won't be open when they refurbish the rooms. That'll be in the spring of 2012. But they gave something else to downtown and didn't directly compete with the gaming, because gaming has been difficult, as we know, the last couple of years, and with gaming just across the border, you know, it's all transitioning and people are finding their way. So I'm hoping they're going to be very successful. I cheated a little bit. I made some notes about the restaurants they're talking about, and they're open. They have Q, which is a Mexican food with 3-bite tacos, and they have fire roasted salsas. They just, the variety of things they're doing there are just amazing. And then you can go to the base camp, and you can also get some healthy snacks.
What is base camp?
Base camp is the outdoor patio for the climbing wall that's out front. And you can go there and you can sit and watch people climb. And as you and I were talking about, it's the other side of the street that's interesting. It's not the west side of Virginia Street. It's the east side. All the people with their necks cranked and their heads in the air looking at the people going up the wall in front of Harrah's.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, they line up over there and watch those people go up the wall.
There's a window here at City Hall where we can actually watch.
You can see without a telescope, you can see the people going up and down. Wow. You know, Commrow is really interesting because of the the variety. We talked about variety of other restaurants, but what they're trying to put in there, and there's live entertainment. They have a little cabaret style area where they're taking local entertainment and putting them in there. So there's entertainment, there's food, and again, food is the focus, but they also have all kinds of drinks. They have an area where they're talking about 100 different types of tequilas. I didn't know there were that many, but using the agave plant as the basis for that, and you've heard about that for years, about the tequila coming from the agave plant. And they have Mexican beers, they have sake, they have sashimi. You know, so the nice thing about there is you can probably go there 7 days a week and get a different meal each time.
I really appreciate what Fernando Leal is trying to do there. I hope that he's successful. I really hope he is. He's so talented and creative, and boy, the food sounds fabulous.
You know, he's a salmon. He's kind of swimming upstream because it's non-traditional from what we've had in downtown Reno. But we know from things that have been told to us by different realtors and businesses moving to town, people that are coming here are coming for lifestyle. And you notice how that lifestyle is changing? You know, the River Walk and the Whitewater Park were one part of it. And you might remember a few years ago when the tourism people at RSCVA were talking about America's Adventure Place. And we talked about outdoors. We talked about the skiing and boating at the lake and hiking and bicycling. And well, that just, it seems to be creeping upon us, but it's growing gradually. And now you have a rock wall in downtown, you know, the highest rock wall that exists.
You can go rock climbing, kayaking, and now this time of the year you can go ice skating all in one day. I was downtown on Saturday and saw some people kayaking, and then the ice rink is open. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was talking to a lady this morning who brought her twin daughters down to on Friday to ice skate, and it was closing at 1 o'clock and it was going to open later at night. And I talked to Julie Conway from the Parks and Recreation Department. And the weather we're having right now is not as conducive as we really need to have as much ice skating as we want, but it's going to get cold. I looked at the temperature for next week as we film this, and it's going to get down into the 40s and the 30s, and that's where it needs to be for the people to enjoy it, because I think it was Saturday that it was absolutely jam-packed. I think their skate rental, they were out of skates, if I remember correctly.
This was the first day that they were open after that wonderful tree lighting ceremony that you officiated. That was a really nice event, especially the timing of it, because we all had so much to be thankful for the firefighters and everything else with the Collin fire. That it was a good crowd, and I think people are really appreciating those traditional things and an opportunity to come out with their families.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a really nice affair. Joe Mowry, who is the store manager over from Rayleigh's at Hunter Lake and Mayberry, they donated the tree, and the city went out, their tree people and urban forestry went out, brought it in, took about a week to decorate it, put 1,000 lights and different things on the tree, stood it up straight as an arrow. That tree last year, we've gotten a lot of jokes about that, but that tree was, you know, so the twigs bent, the tree's inclined. That's the kind of tree we had last year. But this tree is beautiful, and Joe was here, and I let him put the plunger down to turn the lights on, and, you know, he had a smile from ear to ear. The nice thing I liked about it is there were a couple of photographers. John Byrne, you may know from the university, he's been around here for years, and David Parker from the Reno Gazette-Journal, where they're taking pictures, and I'm really pleased they put the picture in the paper of the little kids around the tree. That's what. Love that. You were there, I was there, we enjoyed it. We looked around, and there were parents with their kids on the rink, because Santa was there handing out candy canes. So cool. And then to see those children around the tree with a big smile on their face, that's what it makes it all worthwhile. You know, we all like to receive gifts and we like to give gifts, but when you look at the kids around the tree in a ceremony like that, and their eyes are wide open and they're just enjoying it, that was a thrill for me.
It's a wonderful time to be in downtown Reno. It really is, with the holiday season and all these new restaurants. And
we wish them well, and we hope that everybody that watches this and tells their friends about going back to downtown Reno and try the restaurants that are open, because the menu choices and the diversity of what's happening in downtown Reno when it comes to food is great. We talked about lifestyle. I talked briefly about that. And I was told by some people who handle a lot of businesses in relocation and transitioning, they said that's what the employees that they have and the employees are looking for themselves. They're looking for that urban lifestyle that includes fine restaurants and includes recreation. And we're slowly building towards that, even as tough as this economy has been. And the unemployment in northern Nevada is, up there with the highest in the nation. We're seeing people that just don't want to give up. I read something one time that really inspired me, and I thought about it. At first, my reaction was, you got to be kidding, but it's true. And it was about this man who said that if he knew the world was going to end tomorrow, he would plant a tree today. And you think about that, and you think about what's happening in downtown Reno, and as tough as it is, and people battle their way like the proverbial salmon going upstream, they're making a difference, and we're going to see it happen. We're going to see it turn around, and it's going to be beneficial, and everybody's going to be better for it.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. I appreciate being with you.
And thank you all for joining us.